Well, hey there, Guardian. I've just been sitting here, longly gazing at the pale moonlight, thinking of all those lovers that have come and gone, and as a single tear drifts down my metal-plated face, I realize it's TWAB Day. But this time, with jazz. So sit back, relax, and let those ivory keys whisk you away to a land of weekly Bungie news. This week at Bungie, they're handing those divorce papers over to Cronus and XIM users. We're getting new ways to strut our stuff, and Trials Labs is adding some pizzazz. Let's dive right in. This week, Bungie takes a stance against accessibility being used to cheat. Bungie says they embrace the use of external accessibility aids that enable an experience the game designers intended, but will take action, including bans on people who abuse these tools specifically to gain an advantage over other players. There's been some reaction in the community for Bungie phrasing things in a certain way, but Bungie makes it clear that using these accessibility tools the way they were intended keeps you safe from violating their policy. Moving on to fashion, coming in the Season 20 mid-season patch, Bungie is adding a best dressed commendation. Although they wanted to add this at the drop of Lightfall, and were planning to drop it in Season 21, they just couldn't wait to get our grimy little hands all over it. This functions as you would expect, but it will be limited to what Bungie calls low trust activities. Nevertheless, make sure your fashion is fresh and clean coming for next week. I know mine will be. And finally, we've got Trials Labs coming back in week 8 and 11 of Season 20. Bungie's got some new tools up their sleeve. Most notably are two what Bungie calls soft pools. The first pool is the Challenger pool. This is where most players are going to find themselves during Trials, and Bungie says it looks more like Trials back in D1, without the focus on making games more difficult as the card progresses, or after you've been flawless. Challenger pool is based solely on connection, and not based on wins, tickets, or skill of any kind. And if you happen to have 0 losses on your ticket, you will be placed in this pool. The second pool is what Bungie calls the practice pool. This pool is based on connection and weekly performance. You can only play in this pool if you have a flawed card or this is your first game of the week. It's targeted to new or less experienced players, and because of that, there are 2 protections in this pool, the first being stomp protection. If you are consistently struggling, it will reduce your weekly performance rating to give you slightly easier matches until you recover. And the second protection is farming protection. If the system detects that you or a fireteam member are likely attempting to farm the practice pool, it will slow down your matchmaking times initially, and if you continue, it will lock you into the Challenger pool for the remainder of the weekend, regardless of your card state. Those are some spicy changes to Trials Labs, and some spicy updates overall. As always, let me know what you think in the comments. Are you excited to see some cheaters banned? Are you ready to grind some Trials Labs? Or are you just here to wear your finest suit? Either way, like and sub if you want to see more. And stay safe out there, Guardians. I'll see you next time.